Hello, hello, hello. Hi T, how are you? Welcome, welcome. We'll wait for a few minutes to get everybody to come in because they're slackers and they're not here yet. Hi Sherry. Just going to give it a few minutes.
Yeah, mine is still waiting to go live on my phone here.
I don't watch it on YouTube. It drives me nuts the way.
Oh, I don't watch it. I just look the chat.
Yeah, well, I just have the chat up on StreamYard, so.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone.
Sherry. Oh, see, I have got it. See, I told you.
There we go.
Oh dear, so professional. Hello, Mo, you gorgeous lady, you. Cookie Wookie is Mo. Hi, Jen, how you going? Hi, Sarah, welcome, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, everybody. Angie, over here. Angie, is our special guest tonight, and she's going to show us some fabulous, fabulous stuff. I'm just going to give it another minute or two for our people to come in so they don't miss anything. So those of you who haven't seen any of Angie's art, first of all, why not? Second of all, you need to go over there. Our beautiful mods will put your link up.
Okay.
From time to time so people can go over and sub to you if they haven't already.
Thank you.
It's going to be exciting.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. I'm going to learn stuff too. I like learning stuff.
Me too.
Cookie Wookie. All right, I'm going to put you on solo, and you can do what you do best.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Angie. I'm Angie Garcia Art on YouTube and Instagram. If you do not follow me, go head over there if you want to see more about me. I was asked to create something by using what do you call it? Use it or lose it?
Use it or lose it. Yep.
So what I do is I came up with an idea a few months ago on using your product because some product will dry out before you get to use it. And I was finding that I was having product that was drying out on me. So I came up with an idea to make skins on the silicone mat. And I will show you, I made some skins last night, and I will go ahead and show you some of the skins I made and how they dried. And then we'll make some projects with resin as well. But so this is just layered skins, and then it just has some tattered pieces so you guys can get the idea of what we're going to do. And there's some more layered skins. They're different sheens and opacity. And then one more. Yeah, okay. And then we're also going to make my little heart here with resin and wire. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay. So we're going to go over the products that I used, and then I do have one left here that I left on a skin or on my silicone mat that I'll go ahead and peel up to show you how I peeled them off of the mat. So we're going to go and I'm going to show you what I used and what the results were. So this is called, so the first one's resin, and if you're not comfortable using resin, you can also use glossy accents. I use that as well. If you're comfortable using resin, make sure you have your gloves and your mask and proper ventilation. I always like to say that. So this is called Dip Resin, and so I will show you how I did it on the mat as well. But what I'm going to show you first is how the results turned out. So this is UV resin dip, and it just came out like, I wanted to look like a little piece of glass to use in my layers. And then this
Hi,
is
Norma. Hi, Terry.
hello. And then this is the UV resin. It's not as thick. Dip resin is a lot thicker, and I'll show you how I use UV resin as well in a different project. But here's how that turned out. And if you have any questions, just let me know, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. So that was resin.
Okay.
And then this is a product I love, but I find that they dry out a little bit, but I go through it enough. So this is called paper texture paste, and I'm not sure, it's kind of getting harder to find. So you can make your own texture paste. I kind of like the papery feel because it takes on paint and ink a little bit different than the other mediums. So it kind of gives it a porous feeling. So this one layer.
So is that like a paper mache type feel?
Yeah, it kind of has some grit to it. It kind of feels like paper mache in a way, but it has some elasticity to it, some kind of plasticky feel too, as well.
Okay.
You could make this with like gesso and like a really thin, the cheapest toilet paper that you can find if you can find toilet paper. And mash it up, add that, and add some medium, and you can make your own kind of paper feel. And then this one is just using acrylic paints with some Stamperia mixed media cream paste. You can put this in the mold and peel it off. I also use on my mold, and look at the texture.
Oh, that's cool.
Really, and it's flexible. And then I added acrylic paint to it so it takes color well. So that's fun.
Awesome.
And then this one's Cadence sculpture paste. So that's another paper paste, kind of a papery feel, but it's different. It's not as rough as this one, but that's a lot of fun too. And
no, rabbit holes are not allowed, ladies. You've got to use what you have.
Yes. I find Golden products and Liquitex, I know they're expensive, but they hold up really well through time. And some of the other brands, Ranger, I love their products as much as I do. I buy them in small quantities because they tend to dry up quick. And if you find something dry up, then this is why I came up with this idea, is I was trying to use it. I didn't really want to throw it away. This is why this happened. But this is molding paste. This is a semi-opaque. It kind of has some see-through a little bit in the thinner parts. And like I said, I'll show you how I apply it on a mat. I just wanted to show you everything first. So this is glossy accents, the results with glossy accents. So this, like I said, if you didn't want to use resin or don't feel comfortable, grab your glossy accents.
Cool.
And this is Impasto. This is really thick, and this is a clear gel, and it's still drying. I did these sample pieces last night, so they're still drying. But this one's completely dry, so it's clear.
This is so cool. I would never have thought to make skins out of my drying up medium, so this is very cool.
Good. I'm so happy. So you could color this, and obviously it's not going to be opaque. It's going to give your paint a little bit of transparency. I mean, not fully, but you can see how see-through this is already. So this is a really thick medium. I really, really like this. And so I'll give you a minute to look at the brand too. I should do that. If there's something I didn't show long enough for a brand, just ask me to
I just have to run and let my dog out. She's crying at the door.
Oh, go ahead. And then this one, this is just straight acrylic paint. I don't know if I've always peeled up my paint off my mats. So this one is just two colors mixed together. And so that's just acrylic paints. So that's what you get with that. And I think we have a couple more. And this one's matte medium by Golden. And so this is the result of that one.
I'm back.
Oh, yeah, that was quick. And then I'm going to pull up the last one. And this was, you can also add, I also embed things to give it more texture if I wanted to, like sand, salt, bits, fabric. I've put wire in. I will show you actually, but I'm just explaining. So I'll also put some medium down.
Have you used cinnamon in those things to
You can
color
use
it
cinnamon, whatever you want to add texture. I mean, if it turns out, it turns out. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yep.
So I will embed wire into these skins. I thread bits. I've used words in there as well, and as well as these little words I print on transparency. I'll put some medium down, and then I'll add this. So this one was a mix. This one we're going to pill up. This is the last one. I'm going to show you how I pill it up. Is matte gel, and I don't think these are available anymore by Martha Stewart, but you might be able to find them. They're micro beads, or little tiny pieces of, I don't know if it's what it's made out of, but I've had it for years. Just another way to add texture. Okay, so you want a palette knife, and so when one's hard to get up, this medium usually is easy to come up, but if you find like some of them, and you want to let these, I know everybody wants something to happen like right now, like I do, instant gratification, but these are going on thick, so you'll want to give it 24 hours plus. And some of them will pop off on their own, but give it 24 hours. And if they are popping off, like this one isn't fully dry and they're coming up easy, go ahead and take it off, and then I'll just like flip it around and let it dry. Yes, go ahead.
Question for you. Have you made and could you, I'm going to try it myself, make a skin out of crackle paste?
I tried it and it just crumbled. But what you could do, what I did do, because I love crackle paste, actually my favorite brand of crackle paste is this. This kind of gives really tiny crackle, or this one is the white, and then this one. These are my two favorite.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can layer them. So you can make your first skin.
Yep.
With a stable medium, and then put this on top of it.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we'll just go ahead. So what I do, if it's something, I'll just fold the silicone, and usually these just peel right off. But if you find that it's tearing, just take your palette knife, or I had another.
How thick are you putting it on?
Okay, and that's
How thick are you putting it on?
I will show you. It's thick as like peanut butter. Like if you're making a peanut butter sandwich, you add a pretty healthy spread. But this one is still drying. But I don't know how close I can get my camera. So it might be blurry. Not sure. Anyway, so you can see the little tiny beads in there, and it just adds glass. I've also added micro flakes, or the little flakes that look like glass, or glass glitter. It's fun to just use around, like if you're doing grungy Christmas.
I've got mica and I've got micro beads. Let's try some of that.
Okay, so we're gonna work with some of these skins that I had prepped, and then I'm gonna show you right now. When you ask like how much to spread on, I will probably use, let's see, this one just because it's really thick, and so I can kind of show you. You don't want it thin. You just want to put on like for this is acrylic paint, and I'll show you this. This is thin, but not thin and too thin. So this is really heavy stuff. This is kind of like peanut butter or a heavy face cream.
Now, if you wanted to color those, do you color them while it's wet, or do you wait till it dry?
I do both, but this one was colored, mixed in when it was wet.
Okay.
And I didn't mix it fully because I kind of like the marble look to it. But this was mixed in. And if people want me to do that, I can show you as well, because I'll make a row and then we'll go on to our project. But I just wanted to show you how I created these. So see how thick this is? It's pretty thick. And then I just take your silicone mat, and then I just kind of smear it on. The thicker it is, obviously, the longer it's going to take, but then you'll have a pretty stable skin to work with. So if you find it's not drying, just keep giving it time. It will and eventually dry out. And like I said, you can pull them up and flip them over. So I kind of just do a blob. So if I do want to color it, I've just only colored them with acrylic ink, but you are not sorry, acrylic paint, but you could try the acrylic ink or the sorry guys, alcohol inks if you wanted to. I just use the alcohol inks afterwards. I'll stain it with coffee or give it that age look. So we'll try the
Where
Impasto.
did you buy that from?
This
Angie?
one?
I know.
Amazon. I got this off of Amazon.
Okay.
It's by U.S. Art Supply. U.S. Art Supply. Okay, and let's see. And then make sure you clean your brush. Maybe we'll try this.
Lamont Smalls. Awesome name.
So that's what this looks like. It's kind of gritty, but it doesn't have a gritty feel to it. It's just a little bit. And then I just use about this much. And then I just put it on my silicone mat and just kind of like you're frosting a cake really thick. like if you like a lot of frosting on your cake, that's
just like I like my frosting.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like frosting a cake. And then I'll do some more things with these, but sometimes I'll pat it up like this to get texture, and then I'll just kind of smooth the top over. And you can make them as small or as large as you want to. I kind of stay within kind of about that size just to so I can layer them. And I kind of do. So that one was that one. And this one, I will color actually this one. I'll show you how I color it. So this is a really cool paste. It's like really light and airy and fluffy. Look,
I am, Casey. Yes, I am.
This is like frosting, you guys. Look at this. It's like, I don't know. I love it.
Don't eat the paste.
Don't eat it, right? So if I want to color something, I'll just put it down first, and I'll just like I said, I spread it like frosting, and then I'll grab a color. This is one of my favorite colors. It's called Mudstone by Delta Cream Coat. It's just a really nice neutral.
There you go, Casey. Now you've got a chance to use it or lose it.
Yes. And I just plop it on top. And same with acrylics. Like if your acrylics are going bad, mine will get like, I don't want to use gloppy or gloopy inside. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but that's another way that you can use your paints up, make some skins out of them. And I kind of
the only way I've made skins before is peeling the layers off my brayer.
Yes, that too.
Use the skins off there, yeah.
So look how cool that is. Look at the texture that's formed in that one.
Very cool.
And if you want to mix it and make it one color, go ahead. I kind of like the marbled look because it just gives more of a layered look.
Yum. Now I want a cupcake.
Yeah. Right? Cupcake time. And then we'll just go ahead and do one. We'll do one more so I can show you how I embed something into it. Let's see.
Yep.
I
don't think we have any questions so far.
So far, so good?
So far, so good.
Okay. We'll do this matte gel. And you find the opacity or the translucency on the back of your products, especially on like Liquitex, it'll tell you. Let's see.
Phil Alexander.
So you go ahead and...
Hi, Brenda.
Hello. I go ahead and just smear that on. And then, like I said, you could add sand, cinnamon, little glass beads, glitter. And then, we'll do a glossy accent too. We'll start a blob over here of glossy accents. And I just, I'm going to put a transparency word in my glossy accents. So I'll just do a blob. Because it's a dimensional adhesive glossy accent, so it keeps
it stays chunky.
Yeah, and it's self-leveling, so it'll kind of level out as well. But I'll just kind of use the nozzle and kind of spread it out enough to add this little. It says shine. We'll use shine. That's a perfect word for this.
Shiny.
So then I'll just cut it out. Really quick here. Okay, and then all I do is I just, let's see, put it on top there.
So is that lettering, does it matter if the lettering's face up or face down, or?
You want it facing up.
Okay.
And then I will take my palette knife and just all I will do is just kind of bring the product over a little bit on the corners just to make sure I don't cover the whole thing. I just grab a little piece of the product and pull it over the corners. So then you can peel that up and you have a really cool another element of layering. Okay, and then we were going to, let's see. I'll just take some thread or some leftover threads from sewing, which I have somewhere, but we'll just go ahead and grab here. And I'll just go ahead and add thread to one of these. And these are just base. This is just a base to add on top of it. So, yeah, you know, it kind of looks weird at first until it's really dry and that's clear. And then it has all these threads running through it. I think it looks really neat.
Oh, so that's going to dry clear. Okay, yes. That's very cool.
And then,
so whatever color you put that on, it's going to take on that color.
Yes, it's going to be this one, which hasn't fully cured right here yet. Yep. So this one right here will dry like this, but it'll have a bunch of thread. And or I use rusty wire. Okay. So is everybody comfortable with that?
Absolutely. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, we'll take a second here because I kind of talk a lot.
It's good to forget to. I just get engrossed in what you're doing and forget about everything else.
Well, that's good. Let's see. I'm going to start moving some of this product out of my way if anybody has any questions.
Yep. I might just put it on both of us for us.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, Lindy, we cannot repeat all of that. You'll have to watch the replay.
Mm-hmm. I also have on my YouTube channel how I created these if you wanted to go down to my playlist. If you need a second look.
That would be why he hasn't been on, Brenda, because the poor man died in 1997. You can't keep up content after that.
Oh. Yeah, I'll just clean up really quick and then I'll move these skins and then we'll go on next to the resin.
Casey says he loves how informative you are with your products.
Oh, thank you. I just started teaching in person in New Mexico, so that's really helped me. try to explain what I'm doing, kind of take a breather and make sure everybody knows what I'm doing or what kind of products I'm using, because I know that's important.
So I've just put down, I've never made skins before like this, so I've just put down light modelling paste and put some re-inker on it, mixed it through, gave it a bit of texture, so I'll see how that one goes. And I've also put on this Dreamweaver embossing iridescent paste. So, and I've put some micro beads, little purple micro beads, and some some mica flakes in there as well.
Ooh, very cool. Yeah, the sky is the limit with your products. You can add whatever you want. You can even add like copper foil flakes.
That would look really cool in the clear ones.
Yeah.
Copper flakes, that would look great.
I have the diamond. I don't know if anybody's heard of diamond dust, or that looks really neat in it. Well, let's put away.
I love diamond dust.
I do too.
Deco art product,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Americana.
Actually, I have it right here. I think it's called diamond dust.
Either Americana or Deco Art, I think.
Let's see here.
Thanks, Casey. I can't really lift it up to show you what
this one. Diamond dust. This looks really, really cool. Look at that. In these skins.
Yep, I've got the powder form of that, and I've also got the liquid form as well, like to paint on to things.
And then I also use like I think it's the German glitter glass or glass glitter.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are made.
Hang on, let me put you back on.
Yep.
Let me put you back on.
Okay, so the next little thing we're going to go over is we're going to make.
Yay, Carrie! Now you can play.
Little hearts with the resin.
What we've been waiting for.
And then these little guys. These are just something to add on top of your skins or whatever you want to add them to. But I thought it was another fun little layer.
Yes, T, that would look really cool in there. Rusty embossing powder in.
Yeah, you could do that. I have done that actually. I have rusting powder. Where's it at? Right here. And then I also use a heavier rusting powder as well. That's more gritty. This is super fine. Okay.
So in my stash, I have this ferrous powder from Matisse.
Okay.
Hang on, let me just show you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have this dry medium ferrous powder from Matisse.
Oh, neat.
That's very, very, looks exactly like rust powder, so I'm going to have to do some experimenting to see if it works the same.
Yeah, the other products that I really, really love is by PowerTex, and this is the heavier rusting powder. Like this weighs like it's like holding a piece of iron.
Yeah, well, that little jar I just showed you is so heavy. It's like,
yes. So that's what this. So you can kind of tell it's very thick, or not thick, but it's a lot more coarse.
Yeah.
So this is another really good brand of rusting powder.
It's darker than the other.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let's go over. So you want to grab for this project your resin and your rusty wire. And I get asked a lot where I get my rusty wire. So I buy these little spools or paddles of wire. Well, Joann's is now closing, so I used to get it there, but Michael's as well. And all it is I
just watched your video. Yeah. I watched your video of you shopping for this.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you watch my short, you can see where, so it's in the floral section. So it's floral wire. This one's 26 gauge. This one's 30 gauge. 30 gauge is my ultimate favorite wire because I've been using this for like 15 years. I swear. I use it on everything. You can tie this in a knot. It's really sturdy, easy to cut. I use a lot of wire wrapping, but I will use different gauges. And then all I do is I use a solution of hydrogen peroxide, salt, and vinegar. And I just dip it in, and or I use liver of sulfur. I'll paint that on these, and it'll give it a black patina.
Stinky stuff.
It is stinky.
Stained glass. I use it on my stained glass.
Yes, so you know. And then another product that I've been using is this will tarnish your metal as well, are these two products, which maybe I'll use the aluminum black tonight, or one of the two. I think I'll stick with just the liver of sulfur tonight. But anyway, so you can grab these at the floral section, and you have a whole spool of rusty wire, and I don't know if you've seen the prices of rusty wire that's already rusted. It's super expensive. So I found a way many years ago on how to produce my own spool of wire. So this is metal screen mesh.
Brenda.
Yeah. Exactly. So you can get this on Amazon. I think it's 4 inches by so many feet, and you don't need much. So all I do is I snip a piece off, and then I sand it, because you'll need to sand this to be able to patina it, or unless you want to keep it silver. I patinaed mine, so that's why it's black. I think I used the aluminum black for this, but liver of sulfur will also turn it black. So yeah, so this is from the hardware, but I'm just showing you what it looks like. But you can find it much cheaper on Amazon, because this was like an actual long roll of it, which is gonna last me.
I love how all the hardware things are now putting crafting package labels on.
I know. They're catching on. We didn't want them to catch on, but they are.
Yeah.
So then you're going to need your resin, whether you're using this one. This project for the heart will be using resin dip, and then this project we're using the more liquidy UV resin. You're going to need a UV light. So it can be one of a flashlight style, or a lamp like this.
Those of you that are on a no spend 2025, look away now.
Yeah. I know. My journals, if you go into my YouTube and really want to see the kind of artist and my style, you'll understand why. But I've been collecting product for so long. I've been doing art for as long as I can remember, and I'm a mixed media artist, obviously, and so I like to work with different products. I'm all about safety with resin, so please grab gloves, a mask, and I also have a fan that pulls away fumes, because this stuff, if you've never used it, it does have a smell to it, and I always err of caution, always. And let's see. And I will show you, like I said, a different way. If you're not into resin, that's totally fine. And your glossy accents, another alternative. Okay, so we'll get to this project.
Just before you start, I'm just going to warn people that I've told everyone that we're getting a cyclone that's coming in. It's actually getting really windy, and my internet may flicker in and out. So if you see a flicker, I can't do anything about that. And if we fall off, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Okay, we'll just speed it up. Cyclone's coming. Okay, so I'm going to make the wire first. Okay, so these are what we're going to work on. Let's put those aside. At least we can get through hopefully what I'm doing, and then They won't miss too much.
It should be fine. It's only just making landfall in the next 6 hours down south of me, so
okay.
We won't get the excess wind until later on this afternoon, but it's already getting windy.
Is it? Darn it! Like, it's still snowing here. I live in Montana, and I live in the mountains, literally in the mountains, and so it's snowing right now, big flakes. So what I do is I just make a circle with my wire, and this is the 30 gauge rusty wire, and I make a frame. So I make something like this, and then you'll grab your any glue that you prefer. This is art glitter glue in these little tiny bottle, and then I just kind of add little spots here, because what I'm trying to do is just get it glued on, so when I add the resin, it doesn't seep through the sides too much.
Yep.
So
Thanks,
and I just add it here. And then you'll want, as this is drying, go ahead and grab your gloves and your mask, because we'll be working with resin next. So if I sound a little muffled, sorry.
It's all good. Usually it's me eating that's muffled. Chocolate.
Okay. So that should be good. So you want to grab your UV light. And if anybody has a Walmart, there's actually, this is from Walmart. This is a Blue Moon beads. It's a jewelry. They sell beads and whatnot, but they're also into the resin. It's not too bad of a price, and I do believe it comes with a little light as well. But it's pretty affordable if you didn't want to, try to get into this, but you don't want to spend too much. So if you didn't want to use resin, then you can use a really heavy duty top coat. I'm not going to paint mine because I'm going to do mine in resin. But if you wanted this alternative, all you would do, just take this out, paint it, and there you go. Or if you don't have that and you wanted to use glossy accents, all I would do is put the frame up, then add the glossy accent, let it set level, and then put it aside to dry. If you wanted the quick alternative, like we like, then get out your resin.
Instant gratification is what we're all about.
And I just love the shine. I love how it's like glass. It just frames it. So I'll just add it around the circle. Sorry if my hand's in the way. And then I kind of I'm not pouring it right now. I'm just letting it drizzle come out, and then I'm moving it around with the nozzle. And then I'll go ahead and cure it with the light. And then I'm only going to cure it for a few seconds, because it does take, a few minutes. You'll want it to cure. And then I also take tweezers, and then I'll flip it around the back, because it has to get through both sides, and paper is, opaque. So you want to make sure you hit that light with both sides. And if it's sticky, that means it's not cured. So these are pretty good lights. This little flashlight, and it wasn't that expensive. And then you don't have to purchase all these things. Like, we've been collecting for years. And I'll just leave it in there.
I was watching a video a while back, and there was another product that a lady used that was just a liquid, and you just leave like glossy accents, and it actually...
Oh, I know what it was. Was it this? Was it this diamond glaze?
Don't think it was diamond glaze. It was another one of my mods, I think, was Carrie, was it? May that was using it. I can't remember. I wrote it down and I've lost the book. You write down things on little scraps of paper, and then you end up putting it in a project somewhere.
Actually, I think I'm going to use aluminum black because I want to show exactly what I use to create that heart. So, but you can get the same look. I use gloves and have a window open because it is stinky, but it's a little bit on the safer side than this. This is more of a chemical. So again, please err with caution when you're using chemicals. And so all I do, so what I did is I cut the piece and then you're going to sand it, because if it's galvanized, it's not going to tarnish because it's galvanized. So I kind of just sand it back with a coarse sanding block to get that off. And then I just come in. Actually, I don't want to double dip. So we'll just get some out here. And then I just paint it over and it's like instant tarnish.
This is what we use in stained glass to colour the
lead or the
lead
solder
between. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'll just go ahead, tarnish the whole thing. The reason why I use this mesh is I make these little tiny houses, and these were the ladders. I use these as ladders. So I had a leftover piece and it became a heart.
So Angie has another channel that she doesn't post a lot on, but she makes all these beautiful little model houses.
Yeah, little tiny. It's called a Tiny House Co. on Instagram. If you just want, I don't post much on there, but I leave it on there to give people the idea, because I will take I will go out of retirement from houses and make them once a year.
What's the page called again?
A Tiny House Co. on Instagram.
Tiny House Co.
If you want to just take a look, and then make sure you wash your brush after use.
If someone can grab that link, that would be great. From Instagram?
Yes. Thank you. Like I said, I'm not very active on it, but if people want to see what else I do. Anyways, it's tarnished. And then I'm going to cut that with some wire snips. Let's see. This should be good. And then be careful when you're snipping wire.
Precisely, Mary. There's like any good junk journaler.
And then all I did was and you'll want to you'll want to cut off all the little barbs. They're sharp, and then you'll want to sand that down as well. Then I just folded it in the middle, brought the two ends together.
And it's pretty much instant, Casey. It doesn't take long to dry. It dries as you put it on there. So
yeah, it cures instant. Like this one should be done now.
Oh no, he's talking about the varnish.
It dries instant. It tarnishes instantly, and then I just pat it dry with a paper towel. And then this one's cured, so you have this cute little shiny framed person. Okay, and then after I fold it in half and squeeze it, I'll bring it back out like this, like a bird.
Carrie, what I do if I get lots and lots and lots of men trying to friend me on Instagram is, excuse my language here, but I send them a dick pic.
That's awesome. Love it. There you go.
Works every time. I never thought
of that. I never thought of that. And then I just take a paintbrush handle, and it just helps me roll it into a heart.
Faster than alcohol ink, Carrie.
And then here you go. There's your little heart there.
Cool.
And then you're going to take some of your awesome 30 gauge wire, because it's the workhorse of wires. And you don't want to open and close it and fuss with this too much because it will break, and you don't want it to break. So, and then I'll grab a quick piece of wire here. I don't know. I can't say enough about this wire. It's just awesome. And then you'll want a piece long enough because you'll want a tail, because we're going to use the tail to help us dip it into the jar. Then I'll just...
Any bodies you like, Judy? I'm sure everybody's been sent one at one stage.
That's so funny. I never thought of doing that for sure. And you can take your gloves off for this part. I just want to keep them on because sometimes it's hard to get that wire in there. But all I'm doing is I'm looping the two ends together. And then if you need help, if these little pliers come in handy, and you just pull it. And then I wrap it around 3 or 4 times, and then I just give it a twist. And then you'll end up with this.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. They're asking for your Instagram. So what is it called again? I'm going to go grab it.
A Tiny House Co. A, and then Tiny House CO. It could be a tinyhouse.co.
Okay. I'll find it. Keep going. I'll find it now.
So then you'll end up like this, a little bit of a tail. And then you'll go ahead and grab your UV resin and your light. So this is really thick, and this is stinky. So again, mask up, gloves, and window and fan. Okay, so when you use UV resin dip, the closer the opening is, the easier it is going to get it covered with resin. The wider the opening is, the harder it's going to catch. The resin's going to catch. It will eventually open up. But if you work with it, you can do it. And so you have to make sure you're able to dip this so this mouth is just wide enough for what I'm going to dip it in. And same for, it's pretty deep. So anyways, here we go.
I'm nearly there. Hang on.
Oh, you're fine. So I'm going to dip it in like this. And then I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to turn my light on but keep it flat to the silicone mat. And this one's cool. It actually caught the inside, so I think I'm going to go with that. And you're going to have drips as well. Oh, it broke open. Oh, no, I think it's still going.
Oh, thanks, Sherry.
I let it drip off a little bit. And then you're going to cure it. Oops, sorry, I'm out of the frame. You want to make sure you don't put that light inside your resin. It'll cure your whole jar of resin.
Don't do that. That would be a mistake.
It kind of caught the inside too. It was kind of neat. Oh, it did that. I just let it happen just for time. So this one is...
Oh, that's cool that it... I think that's cool that it caught the inside.
Yeah, it caught the inside. Look at that. So then you'll cure this all the ways around, and then, like I said, you can just... This is all you really need. You don't need to buy both of these, but I work with resin a lot,
Thanks,
so
Ben.
I will start the cure with the flashlight, and then I'll throw it over underneath the other one to just cure it a little bit more. Just set it underneath there. Okay, that is that. And another thing you can do with resin, I'm not going to do it, but I'll just going to show you. I take paper clips, and I also have my playlist. I think it's called Let's Frame It. But you can take words and then glue it on how I showed you here. how I showed you
That's
with this one.
very cool.
Put it on top and then UV resin it. Or you can use glossy accents as well. But that's really cool. Just gives it like...
Yeah, that's very cool.
And I do it with safety pins as well. You know, you get a good safety pin opening. And so this one I think I got off of Amazon too. So this is I rest in bulk. And I used to use the salt and vinegar and all that went in here. But if you get this aluminum black, I just poured it in there and it just tarnished and rusted this whole thing of
Awesome.
paper. Yeah, so anyway, so I have a nice stack of paper. Okay, so you can go ahead and take your gloves off and put your resin away, and then we're just going to make a little project so I can show you how you finish off what we created.
Cool.
If you guys are still interested. Just kidding.
You're all still here. Of course they're still interested.
Okay, so we did pretty good. So that turned out really neat. I just love the shine of it. It just turned out really cool. We did this one.
Yes, the real shininess with the rusty is cool too. I like that.
The only other one I found that I liked was the glossy accent.
Sparkle rust. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's see. Okay, so how I put things together, I just grab a plethora of bits. I used to design, I don't know if anybody knows Esme off of Crafty Me Shop. She was shabby chic. She's shabby chic kind of style. She sells laces, trims, all kinds of things. And so this is a lot of things that I have still in my stash. So I'll just grab, I like to work in different kind of textures. So
I love that your leftover shabby chic stuff is all grunge.
I know. I know. Go back to my channel like 5 years ago and you'll see all the pretty pink stuff. I loved it because I kind of grunged it up a little bit and made it, you know, my own. But yeah, so Esme loves it. She's like, "Oh, that's great. You do that with my lace." So I like to add.
Going, oh my God, what have you done?
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, it's been fun working with I don't know if anybody knows, but I'm one of Tracy's DTs. I'm kind of one of her alumni. I've been with her for I think almost 7 years on her DT. But anyway, so if you want to see some of my projects using her kits. So I like to use different textures and layers. I'll even use paper. I'll even use cellophane, crumbly cellophane as a layer. Yeah, so nothing is safe. Garbage. So I'll find I do. It's so funny how I'll have different kinds of whatever inside my layers. But so I kind of I use tulle, fabric, opaque fabric, some lace, thread. I'll even bunch up some thread. I'll just sew across. This is a paper clip, some toppers that I do.
Wow, love that. Love that. Love the layers. Yes, Jen. Yes. Love layers.
Yeah, me too.
You don't know what starfishing is, Jen? What sort of single woman are you?
Oh, gosh.
Starfishing is when you take up the whole bed, you spread your arms out, and you don't have to worry about anyone rolling you over or...
So then you have like, okay, so this is a tip. When you're done peeling up all of your cool little things you make, you don't want to stack them like this because what's going to happen?
Hi, Jen.
We're going to have one little clump of, they're going to adhere to each other. So I always either keep them on a silicone mat, or if you want to store them, I'll kind of put a piece of parchment paper, wax paper between them. Because they will stick together, and especially if they're not dry all the way, you're just causing, work for yourself. So this one isn't cured all the way, so I'm not going to use that one. But then you have all these little stacks of things to use. Even this little clear one might be cool. Like I used, let's see, this one. This
Don't
lady
know
was
what
one.
you mean, Casey.
Excuse me?
Casey's saying he wasn't sure that that's where that comment was going.
Oh,
But
like, so these little blobs that I made on my silicone mat, I just kind of use it as a frame, like a piece of glass over this. And then I love crystals and rocks. And so I just drilled a hole through it and then added a quartz crystal.
hi, Melissa. How are you? Thanks for coming.
So you have all these to work with.
Sorry.
Are they being silly?
Cookie Wookie, when have you ever behaved on my channel? For goodness sake. Stop trying to look innocent.
Right. And then you
so
just...
those shards that you did, sorry, I'm to interrupt again,
ahead.
but those shards that you had on that tag, that was the glossy accents, the clear one?
Oh, this one is resin.
That's resin, okay.
But you could do that and it would end up like this. This is a piece of glossy accent here. It just, well, mine's probably old. If yours is
it's
fresh.
It's a bit frosty, yeah.
Mine's a little yellowed. But this was, which one was it? This was the dipped resin, and then this was just the pour resin out of this one. So then let's see. I'm just going to fiddle around and then come up with something that I like to layer. I use coffee a lot to stain these, give it a grunge, or paint, or you can use watercolor, especially on the ones that are like the paper texture. So I just take my skins and I'll kind of play around with it. Like that looks really neat. And then I'll add things between the skins.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with something like this. So, okay. Let's see if this is finished.
Oh, Brenda.
So this is the finished heart. That turned out really cool.
That turned out really cool. I really like it with that, how
it came in.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and then all I did on the sample is I just added all the lace and textures behind it. So that turned out really cool. All right. So you can go ahead and color this, like I said, with watered down paints, inks, whatnot. I'm going to just give mine some coffee.
Exactly, Judy. Behave yourselves.
Yes.
We have guests, you know.
Yes, I'm a guest here.
She'll never come back.
I was saying earlier that I haven't done I used to do lives a lot and with other artists and crafters, and I hadn't done a live for like, I don't know, I guess in like 5 years.
Coming on mine, what a crash course.
Yeah, I was a little nervous. I was like, okay, I think I have this. It's fun though.
Hi, April.
So yeah, so that's just stained with coffee. It just kind of tones down the white. So I think I'm going to go with something like that, but get a hot glue gun too. I use hot glue gun just to help tack stuff down. And then, like I said, I just mess around with whatever I'm using. I'll just start cutting little bits and pieces.
Carrie,
yes.
Angie's channel should be pinned to the top of the screen. I pinned it earlier.
Yes, thank you. It's, yeah, Angie Garcia Art. Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sherry.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We've been talking back and forth. Let's see. Sorry, I haven't looked at the chat. Hello, everyone. I kind of get in my zone.
That's all right. I do too. I do exactly the same thing. we've had people say there should be a cattle prod feature so that we can get the attention of the artists when we want to ask questions.
That's so true. I also look for contrast. So I would like to add a balance of contrast with highlights and lowlights, or so that black just pops off better for me if it's sticking out. And I'll eventually just go back and see where I'm working, how it's going, and I always am taking on and off.
Hi, Rainbow Rising. Jen had a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Angie, I find that I almost never throw anything away because it's all fair game. How about you?
Let's just say, okay. I live in the mountains, and I have 3 cabins from 1896 to 1900, and there is a plethora of rust because it's old mining town. This was like an old mining little town, and yeah, so I save everything and I just put it on my like my old cabins that just had decor, and then I'll go cut a piece of rusties. Anything I
find. 1900 cabins are storage units by the sound of it.
Yeah, well, one is a guest cabin. We remodeled one, and then the other one is storage. Yeah, I keep a lot of my art supplies that can withstand weather, because we get down to minus 40 degrees some nights.
Hi, Carol.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. So yeah, it was fun working for a lace and trim or design team, because I accumulated lots of this stuff.
I worked for a thrift store for
oh my gosh,
for probably about 2 years, and all the stuff that they would throw away I would go through, like the books,
oh my gosh,
the lace dresses that had holes in them. I came home with so much stuff, and now I haven't been there for 2 years, and every time I go to donate stuff out there, they've got a box of stuff for me. Oh, we thought you'd like this, and it's like,
oh my gosh, so this is kind of where I'm going with this. Just a fun little.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and commit to it, I guess. So then I just
stick it down.
Exactly. Sometimes I will. I like running a sewing machine up and down, but for time and whatnot, we'll just go ahead and use a little bit of hot glue.
Hi, Marty. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you guys for all the kind words. I really do appreciate it.
They're loving it. Loving it. So am I.
Thank you. And what I do is I just, the way I work is I just do a small tacking down if I'm not going to do a running stitch, which I probably would have. Not with the mediums, because I don't want to gum up my really nice sewing machine. I haven't gone that far with it. I'll just lightly tap each little layer and put a little bit of glue, make sure I want to commit to it. And if I have to move anything, I still have time. So I'm just putting a little itty bitty dot. And then once I have everything on, then I'll go ahead and start making sure everything's on. That made sense. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
Little dot. And sometimes I'll hang off one lower than the other just so you can see the back skin. And I like to bunch up this is where a sewing machine comes in real handy, because when I'm sewing, I can kind of bunch up the material, so it just gives it more texture. So that's kind of what I do. Somebody, one of my videos said, "Man, you got a hairy gun," and I'm like, a hairy, like Sherbonder glue gun. I'm like, okay. This is fun. Yeah, this is my favorite. It just always comes back, and it has lasted me like almost 10 years. And
I keep going back to my old glue gun, and it
yes,
looks like, I bought myself and it
yes,
looks like I bought myself a cordless glue gun, and
yes,
it's really good, but it turns itself off all the time when
yeah.
you don't use it for a couple of minutes, and it's like, ah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and start. Yeah, I really like where this is going, so I'll go ahead and glue some pieces down.
Did you get Cookie Wookie's question?
What was it? I missed it. What did it say?
I've made similar to these wide pieces before with embossing powder. I found it hard to cut. If it didn't quite gloss up the shape fully, how do these mediums cut or trim
Oh,
if we need to cut them?
they cut. I'll trim some for you. Perfect. Yeah, that will probably like crack. I did try using embossing powder, but it kind of blew, spread everywhere. And I love ultra thick embossing powder if you just had it like in the center and then hit it. But these, they all cut because they're kind of like, they dry like a plastic. A lot of these are kind of, you know,
like a silicone
the
feel.
only one that I had crack or didn't cut well was crackle paste. But what I mentioned, if you weren't here, and I'll show the products again, these are my favorite crackle glaze and crackle paint. If I want that crackle effect, I'll wait till these are dry and then I'll add it on top of that. And that is another thing I was going to mention. I've also, like, say I'll take this Impasto medium, I'll spread it on, and then I'll take an opaque medium like this one, and then just kind of let this dry a little bit till where it has like a layer, a dried layer, and then I'll add this on top of it so it becomes one. So you're kind of mixing your opacities, I guess. I don't know. I was just experimenting, but I've done that as well. Yeah, these hold up pretty well. And like I said, if you're going to have it on a flat surface, some of the, can crumble, but I just glue them down. But for the most part, if they're this is going to lay on a flat project, they're fine. If it's going to be a lot of wear and tear, then I would probably use something that's a little bit more flexible. But yeah, they'll tear. They'll tear. They do really well. Same for the paint. The only suggestion I make is make sure you added enough layer. So this is a pretty thick glob of acrylic paint. So if that answers your question, or if not, let me know.
Nope, that was awesome. Thank you. Looks much easier.
Yeah, and you can even take this. I've taken this little piece and made. Oh, this is actually the heart, and made it a layer. See the little mesh.
No, Marty, that doesn't matter if it looks like a preschooler did it. Just add some browns. That's awesome.
That's
Make
what
it
we want.
grungy.
Yeah. And so you could even add this little ladder mesh as a layer. You can either sew that on, whip stitch it on. Is probably what I would do if I was going to make these. I've also made these. Well, it's not, I guess, a hidden paper clip, or I just make them. This is my version of a hidden paper clip. It's not really a hidden, but I make these as paper clips, so you can clip them on and take them off. Some of them.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, so that was the paper clip in the back. And let's see, I think the other ones are glued on. Okay, so then I just take my hairy glue gun, again, as somebody said, and I just put her on.
I'll show you my pathetic attempt at it, Marty, and you'll see that what a preschooler thing looks like. I'll show you in a moment.
Gosh. Okay. Let's see here.
Exactly, Brenda. Exactly. Like the old, my skin is peeling off when we were in school, when we put glue on it.
Yes. I've done that for sure. So yeah, so this can be whatever you like, and you're using up your old. So you can, I just, be a paper clip. You could do so many things with these. I don't know. There's just so much fun.
case I forget to post, I'm writing it all down, and I will get Angie to show me when we finish the live before she goes away, and I will make a list of everything that all the mediums that she's used, and I'll put them in the comments below in the description box. But she just wants to know what the stuff that you turned the wire black with was called.
Oh, okay. I'll hold it up for you guys. So there's two different ways to turn it. So this is called aluminum black. I'll hold that for you and take a screenshot. And then this is liver of sulfur. You add this to hot water, not like boiling, but hot tap water, and you just need a little drop, like. But sometimes I'll add a little drop here, and that's super concentrated, and you have to be careful if you're using this with like really thin metal, because it can kind of.
So when I had the lead light stained glass shop, we used to have that all made up in a coffee pot, the old coffee pot, with the heater on the bottom. We'd just put the water and the liver of sulfur in there, and it was all ready to go all the time.
There you go. And if you're not comfortable using the chemicals, these obviously are everybody's favorite, and I'm sure everybody has these. You can stain your metal with alcohol ink. And here's some more. So I tarnish these staples with that perma black, or the aluminum black and the perma blue, and alcohol ink.
Just watch that video too.
Yeah, it's simple, but I hadn't seen it to be tarnished. I was like, I love tarnishing metal. I don't know, everything needs to be tarnished. So yeah, so we got this done, and then all I did to do the heart is, this is like a thick piece of bookboard. And
wait.
Oh, go ahead. I'll pause. Frozen. Okay, read it.
Okay.
This was just a thick piece of bookboard, and so that was the first layer. And then I created, this doesn't have any skins on it. This was just created with layers of lace and trim, and then I ran a stitch through it, and then I puffed this up through the heart here. But what I did do is I did drill one hole and then fed this through there, wired it up on the back, and then added a piece of paper to hide the wire. And then I just hot glued the rest of the heart. And then this is just like I don't know, can be whatever you want. Whoops.
You don't need to hide your wire. You can just make a nice little twirl and
that's what I did. I twirled it up. Yep, I twirled it up and then pushed it down and then added paper on it.
Yep. Very cool. Yes, you did just do that video on the staples, Casey.
Yes, I did a video on the heart, the staples. There's the skins. There's little framed resin pieces. I don't do a lot of tutorials, but I do like little small tutorials.
When people whinge enough, you do a tutorial. That's what I say.
Yeah, I really appreciate everybody. I'm not I'm not saying I'm a terrible teacher, but I'm learning. I'm a teacher in training.
So this is a little heart. I'm just going to show my heart. Okay. This is the little heart that I made with wire.
I love it.
Dip resin. And I got a little hole in my dip resin, so I hung a bell in the hole.
I love it.
Cute. Not perfect, never will be, but it's a start. As I said, I bought the UV dip resin ages ago to do fairy wings and didn't get around to using it. So this is a perfect opportunity to get it out and play with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, for sure. This is one of the journals that I'm just finishing, so you guys are getting a sneak peek of it. So it's a little shadow box art journal. So this is what inspired me to make the heart, was the ladder.
That is so cool.
Thank you. This one actually, I usually make my little houses out of wood, but this one was actually clay. Sorry for the glare. And that's plexiglass on the top there. So when you open it, it's just, there's the scene. And these are
So
using
cool.
Tracy's digitals. And then what I did is, so you guys are getting like the first look, because I haven't made a peek through yet. So yeah, I just kind of.
We're special.
So yeah, so you guys can, since you guys are new and I don't know if you follow me, but if you do, I really appreciate it. If you don't, this is kind of what I do.
Casey wanted to know, hang on, stop talking, people. It's going too fast. You did a fiber paste skin last year, didn't you? That's when I first found out.
Yeah, this was the fiber paste that I did do one out of that. So
thanks, Rainbow Rising.
Yes, one was the paper, and then one was my homemade. I ran it a homemade, but all it was toilet paper, a medium, and gesso. It was more fibrous.
We like homemade stuff here.
Yeah. So, if you also are interested in my channel, this is I do another art called electroforming. So this is actually a real feather plated. Well, it's not plated in copper, but it goes through a chemical process. And then this little one that I finished.
No, I won't buy electroplating stuff. No, I won't buy electroplating. No.
Yeah, nothing is safe. Pine cones, flowers. Like I started making jewelry. It was supposed to. I just got into electroforming for this reason because I wanted a copper feather, and then it turned into jewelry, and it just went downhill from there. But here's another way you can use a safety pin and make words with the resin inside there. I'll take plumbers. I think this is for clamping pipe together. I'm not sure. But that's another idea. Putting flowers in there with the resin, just hanging it. And these are mini.
Smarty, I don't have an accent. You do.
That's so funny. And this is I did a tutorial making little mini clipboards. So I just put that on top of the journal. But anyways, yeah, so that's me.
Yes, Carol, it's time you went and stole stuff off your kids because, the kids did it for us for years and years. So I think the electroplating stuff is fair game. Go get it.
Yeah, for sure. That's a lot of fun. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Yeah, the little clipboards were fun. I was trying to think of an idea for Tracy, and I was like, what am I going to do? And so when I looked at one of her kits, they just looked like little bitty clipboards to me. So that's how that was born.
Well, I wasn't much help today. I was just in the background fielding questions.
Oh, that's great.
I did have a little bit of play. I have made some skins which are drying on the plate, so I'll see how they work out.
I like the texture. And I want to say this. You let them dry over 24 hours. Do not fill them up. For everybody. If you weren't here earlier, it takes time. And if they do peel up on their own, that's fine, and just flip them over because this still has, obviously, there's some cloudiness in there.
Yes, Tracy Fox Digitals, yes.
Yes. And so, like, but this is a really...
Angie, my digitals, maybe she'll play with them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Put you on the spot.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind. I do make my own prints as well. I have an Etsy with digitals, and this is my paintings, and I just scan them, and then I make like little kits. I also have an Etsy and a website. Anyway, so yeah.
We'll put all the links to Angie's stuff in the description when I get off here. So
yeah, I really appreciate that.
And then you'll know where to find all the things.
That's awesome.
Yes, Jen, speaking of digitals, what have I done now? No, I haven't downloaded them yet.
No, and I did get an iPad last year, so I'm starting to draw an iPad and do patterns, and I don't know. I just I love to do everything. Luckily I have a very supportive husband. He's very good to me, and when I have an idea, he's all on board. Like the electroforming, I made my own solution, and I was really nervous to do it. And he's an engineer, so I just sat him down one day and said, watch this video and can we do this? And he's like, sure. So like, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's like root kill and battery acid and to make this chemical, and you have to have amperage and power to it. And so
I'll tell you my battery acid story quickly before everybody goes.
Yes, I would love to hear it.
We used to live on a country which had paddocks, fields around it, and we had an old car bomb that all the kids in the neighbourhood used to come and paddock bash and drive it around in the dirt and the grass. And they had a ball in it. It was just an old wreck. And some kids turned up one day and they said, the car won't start. I said, I'll go and put another battery in it. So I picked the battery up from the garage and I walked out, put another battery in it, and off they went. And it had been raining and I thought was water down the front of me. So I went to the supermarket in town and I've bought a box of cornflakes and some other things, and I'm walking to the cash register, and as I'm walking I could feel something on my foot, and I sort of shook it off and kept going and shook it off and kept going. By the time I got to the checkout, all that was left of my jeans was the zipper, the waistband, and the top of the pockets down to the knees. It ate the battery acid had leaked onto my pants.
Oh, yeah.
All the top, and given me blisters on my legs as well.
Yeah.
And so I put the cornflakes in front of, because it ate my underwear as well. I've got the cornflakes in front of me and the guy's gone, can I scan that for you? And I went, no, can you look it up? He goes, no, I need to scan it. I said, I'm not handing it over. You need to look it up.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny.
Well, I almost got arrested for stealing cornflakes because I wouldn't give them to him.
Oh, my gosh. So you can kind of understand why I was scared to start electroforming, because I was like, oh, my gosh.
Yes.
And then I was like, and then I have to add power to all this. Oh my gosh. So he walked me through it. He was really kind and walked me through it. And then I'm off. I've been off on my own because it can be you have to baby the piece. It took like 72 hours to fully electroform that feather. So it's not a quick process. What? That is so funny.
So in Australia, a fanny is not a bum. It's a front. It's your front bum.
It's your front. Okay.
So the fanny thing is an in joke here.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my goodness. You girls are too much sometimes.
I don't know if I work with paper clay too. Oh, here's some of actually my electroform jewelry.
Show us.
Yeah. I was actually going to grab something else, but this was right on top. So I live by a park called Crystal Park, so you can go mine for crystals. So these are actually mined and polished. This is electroforming on top.
Very cool.
And this is a branch just from my backyard. A lot of these are from my backyard. This is just a branch electroformed, and then I put a liver of sulfur.
When I tell people without showing is, I used a stick. What do you mean you used a stick? It's a cool stick.
This is pine cone from my backyard of these big pine trees. So this takes about 72 hours. And you have to baby it because it can go bad real quick. Electroforming. It can burn.
Yes.
It can burn. So I also make these out of bakeable clay. And then I just electroformed the clay. And then I also did a version in, like, if you don't want to get into electroplating. So this is like a faux electroplate. So all I did was I use a lot of copper leafing. So it's real copper leaf, and then I just put the glue on, let it get tacky, put the copper leaf, and then tarnished it. So you're almost, you know, same kind of look, just a faux.
That's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to try to, for my viewers, I try to think of other ways. But sometimes
because a lot of people don't have the access to this sort of stuff that you have.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see you can get a very similar result with stuff that we would have.
Yeah. So that's electroforming.
Rainbow Rise wants to know if you sell your stuff.
I do. If you follow my Instagram, I usually will announce if I have journals. I haven't decided if I'm going to sell the ones I showed you yet. The one with the little house is actually what I'm going to do for a workshop in New Mexico. I'm dropping everything.
Good night, Sherry. Thanks for sharing all the links.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. But I was also going to say this I haven't tried this stuff for skins, and this is going to look like a toxic waste situation going on, but it's not. It's nothing weird, guys.
What the
so this is
she's showing us now.
Creative paper clay. I use a lot of this to form. So this was another skin that I did. It just kind of bubbled up as it dried. It kind of bubbled up. So I think next time what I'm going to do is I'll make the skin on the silicone and put another silicone on top of it, so it keeps it flat because it kind of bowed up. But this, if you don't use this stuff, it will get stiff. So what I couldn't work with it. I was trying to add water to it, so I just put a pile of water in this stuff, and this has been months, and I kind of came up with this stuff. It's like goopy stuff, but it I use it for texture. So if you have that kind of paper clay, all I did is add water to it, and it's like soaked it up. And I've had this for like 7 months, and it, you know, there isn't any mold on it or anything. I stir it up now and then. But that's what I was going to show you. I do have a website. It's angiegarciaart.com. I will
I'll link all the links down below. I'll link her link tree, which would be easier.
Yeah. Yep. I have a link tree. And I do have one other thing that I have. It's still for sale.
Oh, we're not in a hurry. Don't worry. We just hang till we've got nothing.
Like I said, if you follow my Instagram, you'll see kind of what I'm doing, or my YouTube channel. So I have a collaboration that I was invited to, and this was my second year being invited. But I have sorry for the crinkle. I have Birkenstocks with my prints on it. This one's called Yellowstone Prismatic. And then I have Montana Soot, which they're upstairs. So that's in my link tree as well. So I was a returning featured artist. Yeah, so I've got, and I
very
cool. Yeah, I have them on. See, we have leather bags, wallets, kind of a journal with this leather on it, and then the Birkenstocks. So yeah.
Oh, amazing! That's so cool.
Thank you. So I'm a busy person.
You are busy, because I'm very thankful that you took the time out to join us and show us all your awesome art.
Oh, yeah, thank you guys. I really do appreciate everybody sticking by and watching me create, because I love it. But here's alcohol ink really quick. I was just showing you. People were asking color it. That's kind of cool. Anyways. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to head off now. I think you've shown us so much. We've got to come back and watch the replay just to see it all again. I'm going to have to watch the replay as well, because I was watching chat as well as you. So I missed a bit as well. So thanks, everyone, for coming. Don't forget to come back and give us a thumbs up and a like and a share it if you can. I will list.
Yeah, please share. Please share.
Angie's link tree down below when I get off here, and a list of the products that she's used. So I'll get her to stay behind scenes. I get a list of stuff.
Much. Yes.
All righty. Awesome.
Yes, that was great. I really appreciate it.
And maybe she'll come back again one day.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous at first, but I kind of got in the flow. So
awesome. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
And